TV, and it's a big welcome back to Brian Johnson after his 3 weeks incarcerated at Pentridge. Brian, how did you manage to escape? And it's great to have you back.
Thanks, Darren. Well, actually, I got charged with impersonating a tipster, and it took him 3 weeks to let me out. I had to get a winner. So I took the winner last week somewhere else from here, but now I'm back raring to go too.
I reckon there was a few blokes in there from the racing industry. A lot of people there have been charged recently with impersonating a jockey and impersonating a trainer.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I didn't see anyone in that I knew, so it's probably a good thing.
Yes, it's good to see BJ back. The big fella's here, and he's got all the late mail, and he's looking very excited to be back on ATB TV. A lot of feedback last week about Liz doing a fantastic job in your absence.
Yeah, she was fantastic. I watched it, I think I watched it about 10 or 12 times from memory, but yeah, she was really good. And where is she tonight?
She's inside cooking my dinner, and we did invite her to come on with you, but she declined politely. Anyway, let's go back through last week. It was a little bit of a quiet week, just the three runners, Brian. Stylishly went to Donald, first up for Darren Weir and Dean Yandel, and it was quite a nice debut.
Yeah, very good run. She got out well, done everything right, which is the main thing, I guess, and got run down in the straight by a better horse, but she set on the pace behind the leader, and I think she just will do a lot of good from the run. I think she'll be improved. She'll be winning races this time in on that effort.
I'm sure she'll be winning races. I thought he went a little bit early at the 400 metre. Young Dean, who tells me that they're expecting. So good on you, Dean. Good to see with Christine Pools. So stylishly, a good first up second. Yeah, she'll be winning races. I think she's quite a nice filly or mare now. And then our little grey mate from the Geelong and Melbourne Cup last year, Tack the Boy Strong. Now trained in the UK by Marco Botti, who trains all our international horses. And he was first up at Goodwood over 2,800 metres, and he ran third behind Harris Tweed and Mount Athos, which I thought was a very good run. Brian, have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched the race. I got up I think about 1:30 in the morning, and credit to Marco Botti, his horse was sent out a treat, looked really well in the yard, and ran a good race. It was on the pace for a while and loomed up a little bit in the straight before eventually got beaten 6 lengths by a couple of informed horses. But form around Mount Athos was pretty good, so I'd be very happy if I were the owners, because they didn't probably get much in Australia, but over in England they're probably going to see a bit of a return on their money.
Yeah, it was good to get him back on a wet track, and he was underdone. Frankie Dettori said he just knocked up the last 300 metres. We've got 3 races in mind for him. 2 of them are Group 1s and a Group 3. And then we may well sell him on. And hopefully, if he can win a race and we get good money for him, it'll be a good outcome for everyone invested in Tack the Boy Strong. Went down to Geelong on Tuesday on the synthetic to watch Magnus Bell run. Started favourite with Ben Mallam on board and just had no luck whatsoever.
It seems to be the story of her life at the moment. She's probably having a little bit more luck than what Essendon is at the moment, but she once again she was sort of travelling really well just to get the win around the corner, but got held up by a horse, and then she got checked again, and she got going again on the line, but the race was over by the time she got going again.
Yeah, disappointing. She was in behind him on the lead and tortured an old ATB horse that we got rid of a while ago. Just held her up there and may have just inconvenienced her, and she fought him off, and then Crown sort of flashing to the line just hampered it and squeezed her right out, but never going to beat the winner, who was very, very impressive, but probably should have run second there. Looking forward, we go to Hawkesbury this weekend, Brian, with Sir Dylan, trained by Chris Waller. First up for us for 142 days. What are your thoughts on that race?
I just had a quick look at the field. He's probably on his form last time, and he probably should run all right. I mean, he's going to do better with it, whatever he does on the actual day, because he's probably be better after 2 or 3 runs from a spell. But on what he showed last time, if he gets a crack at him, he'll probably be hard to beat.
I'll let you in and tell you something here. Sir Dylan, I think, is a very, very nice handicapper in the making. I've been through his form recently, looking for reasons why he hasn't won and reasons why Chris Waller rates him so highly. And I can tell you that in that family, that every foal out of that mare has won multiple races, including group races, but not one of them have won a decent race until they've got to 4 years old, which he is now.
Well, I probably wouldn't be backing him for a couple of starts then, if that's the case. Get him fit in the right race, and then have a crack at him.
If you see money for him, follow it. Edge of Storm goes to stall on Tuesday, Brian. been trying to avoid the wet tracks. Drawn terrible Friday, so we scratched from Mildura, so that's good. But Store, what do you think?
Well, he hasn't had a run now for nearly 4 or 5 weeks, and he was just starting to hit his strides too. But we just have to wait and see whether it rains or not. We've had more rain again tonight, so it's hard to say what it's going to be like. But if it dries out a little bit, I expect him to be hard to beat, without knowing what he's drawn in that yet. I
think the horse is flying, and he just needs a little bit of luck. So I know Darren is very, very confident that he's close to a win. I didn't want to tell you that before. Then maybe the other runner that we probably skipped over for next Saturday is up in Kununurra. We've got a runner in the Kununurra Cup, a new horse to the team called Hierarchy, trained by Jason Manning. And a group of our clients up in Darwin and the NT are all involved in Hierarchy, and it'll be good to see him go around in the Kununurra Cup, and I'm sure all the guys that have gone up there will be having a wild weekend.
I dare say Phil Britton's one of the owners up there, is he?
Oh, he's in it.
Peter Lawrence?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be wild times, all right. Actually, it's good for Phil because of Essendon being out of the finals, at least Phil's got something to focus on this week, which would be good for him, so take his mind off the footy.
With comments like that, it won't be long and there'll be Twitters and Facebooks and emails flying in, Brian. I think you should leave James Hird and Essendon alone. I think they've been through enough. But I suppose at least, Collingwood's going good on the eve of the final, so it's good to see all you guys proud and excited, and you're just going to get let down again. Yeah, enough of that. Anyway, moving on. We might have a first starter at Canterbury next Wednesday called a Basso. He's an Encosta colt that we bought a couple of years ago at the Easter sale. Chris Waller trains. He said if he draws well Wednesday, we will start him. If he draws wide, we'll wait another week. So that's a Basso. Brian, out of the 4 horses that we've got running in the next little week, who's your tip?
My tip is probably not to have a bet, but if I was going to have a bet, I'd probably back Sir Dylan each way first up.
I'll go with Edge of Storm. I reckon he's ready to win. General news around the traps. I know you're a bit rusty from being away, but I know you've been working hard in while you're locked away, just trying to get this tipping competition up and running for the spring. The sponsors will be Betfair this time, so you must have a Betfair account to win the major prize. And we will let you know how you go about that if you don't have one already, because we can set you up with the right deal. And Brian, first prize will be a trip to the Gold Coast Magic Millions races in January, as per last year, and to some of the functions there. And when does it all set to start, the spring tipping competition?
It'll start on October 5th this year, which is, from memory, Toombul Stakes Day at Flemington, and it'll go all the way through to the last day of the carnival, which is Sandown Classic Day. So we're going to incorporate Melbourne Cup Week. We'll have Derby Day, Cup Day, and also Emirates Day. We'll give Crown Oaks Day a miss. But yeah, so there'll be 8 rounds over that time, and there'll be weekly prizes each week of $100 to the highest score, 50 for second and 25 for third. We might even have some bonus rounds through the comp just for give people a chance to win more money. But it should be a good competition. And first prize is on January 11th, Gold Coast Magic Millions Day in January. And ATB should have 3 or 4 horses up there this year or next year. So it'll be exciting times.
Yeah, looking forward to the spring. So that's the tipping competition. Stay tuned for the emails and the updates. The other thing I should announce is that at Werribee on October the 12th, we'll be having our ATB Big Breakfast with the internationals going through their gallops at Werribee Quarantine Centre. So if you don't know, Werribee, October 12th, we'll be having our breakfast, and stay tuned. That'll be open to everybody to come along and join in and have a look at these international horses go through their paces, and including our very own Dan Dino, who obviously has had just the 3 runs for us for 2 seconds and a first. And, he's firmed up in the markets for the Caulfield Melbourne Cup. I was having a look yesterday. He's actually on the second line of betting for the Caulfield Cup at $16 and on the third line of betting for the Melbourne Cup at $21. Like, he's right up there, isn't he?
He is, and so he should be really on his form. And hopefully all the hype around Passance de Luma will see him probably ease before the Cup and have some more money on the better odds.
Yeah, I think if I was a betting man, I'd almost go Dandino to win the Caulfield Cup, Passance de Luma to win the Melbourne Cup. The Cox Plate. So Dandino, the Caulfield Cup, Sonsdalen, the Cox Plate. Do you think that's a good double?
Well, depending what the odds are. I'd have to see what the odds were. If the odds were good, it would be a good double, but at the moment, I think Sonsdalen's probably pretty silly odds at the moment for the...
Yeah, I know you got a lot of money and you don't really worry about it too much, but, you know, for a bloke like me, $16 in the Caulfield Cup, all up, $6 in the Cox Plate. When I went to school, it's about 96 to 1, and $100 on that's not bad. Buy a few bags of fish and chips.
Well, if it wins, I guess, yeah.
Might just pick that little thing up there and show everyone. This is a beer tube. You might just have to hold up a little bit. It's a bit hard to see. Move it forward a bit. It's a beer tube, and it holds 3 litres of alcohol, and it's engraved on the front with a label of Platelet winning her Group 1. Before we started this show, that was full, and when I came out and set the camera up, Brian, there was 1 glass left, so it's a nice little keepsake. So we can do those for any horse, and they have a thing that you put in the fridge and it makes it all go cold, so it's a great little invention. Thanks, Brian. A little bit of merchandise there from the ATB team, and yeah, it's quite good. Maybe, I reckon if Dan Dino wins the Caulfield Cup, we'll need a 30-litre one.
We may, and speaking of platelets, she's set to resume in a couple of weeks at, I think it was Mooney Valley, what's it, McEwen Stakes. And our other group winning mare is Lonspresso, will be running the week after at Caulfield and Hanau Stakes. So it'll be exciting to see those 2 horses back.
They both had a jump out at, or a trial, I guess, at Ballarat this morning. Darren Weir worked about 7 of his good horses all together, and yeah, he's in for a big spring where he's flying, isn't he?
Well, he's flying already, so it's going to get bigger and better for Darren, I think.
Well, Brian, that's must say it's most great to have you back. We've certainly missed you, and I know the fans have been distressed, so they'll be all happy to have you back today. And until next week, is there anything else?
It's all, Darren, I think. Have a happy weekend on the punt.
You too. Until next week, Darren Dance and Brian Johnson from ATB TV. Cheers.